In this video, I would like to talk about Ayn Rand, the problem with Ayn Rand. I read Ayn Rand's books, gosh, it must have been, oh, 40 years or so ago, long time ago. And at the time, I was a young intellectual and very grateful to have these books that were not really very interesting as novels, I didn't think, but as intellectual treatises, these novels have a lot of things to ponder and think about. Looking back on it now, I realize that Ayn Rand was a person who was, oh, you might say traumatized. Maybe that's too strong a word. It certainly was hurt by her experience growing up in the Soviet Union, and very happy to escape from the communist system there that seemed to thwart individual enterprise and effort. And that was all very understandable. It's a very frustrating system for particularly for bright people, I'm sure, communism as it was practiced in the Soviet Union at that time. So she was very upset at having gone through this and found all of the flaws in such a system, and very, in a very expert way. She's very bright and very knowledgeable of the system and what and analytical about it, understood very well and expressed very well what was wrong with it. The problem with Ayn Rand is that she went from one extreme to the other. She, like many traumatized people, say a person uh, is traumatized in war. Well, maybe they go back into war and they build their life around that, or maybe they go to the other extreme and say, well, I'm not ever going to even engage in any conflicts, even verbal conflicts with people. I'm never going to speak about disagreements. I want them not to ever speak about disagreements, so that everything has to be completely peaceful and calm at all times. And if a person decides that, that's an extreme. And it's a problematic extreme, because you never resolve conflicts if you never talk about them or hear other people talk about them and get things out in the open. Or a person maybe who is traumatized by being raped, they may decide, a woman who's traumatized in that way might decide, there are many ways to react, but one of the possibilities is she might decide, well, I never want another man in my life again, not just to date. I'm never going to speak to my brother, my nephew, other males, the next door neighbor guy, all of whom may be very nice people who've never done her any harm nor ever intend to. And yet she's trying to solve a problem, but doing it by going to the other extreme. So Ayn Rand tried to solve the problem of communism by getting this idea about some extreme form of laissez-faire capitalism that would be the exact opposite. And it might have been more, uh, more of a learning experience for her and others if she had studied economics or gone into politics and actually tried to carry out these extreme forms of laissez-faire capitalism that she likes so much, and discussed so much in her books, because they've never been tried. And so it's really easy when a certain system has never been tried to decide, oh, well, if it were tried, it would be perfect. It's really easy to make up results in your head for a system that you've devised. However, in the real world, things get a little more complex. And it's interesting that nowadays there are many people who believe in this extreme form of laissez-faire capitalism, or think they do, or say they do, who are espousing a kind of system that's never been tried. Maybe it never will be. seems pretty clear that if it were tried, it would be so extreme that it would uh, work just as badly as communism because it's just way far extreme and doesn't take realities into account that people have to deal with. The fact is that capitalism is a system that where certain regulations or certain kinds of balance are needed. You need to be able to make regulations to, as we have done in the U.S. Government, to keep food safe. Maybe we've gone overboard on some types of regulations, but some are very good. Some to keep food safe, to keep people from being poisoned by pollution, by corporations that just think only of their bottom line, but would not uh, hesitate perhaps to poison people through bad food or through pollution or various other things that societies need to build roads, bridges, have police, firemen and firewomen. And so a lot of things are best done, well done by government.